According to Ross Coulthart, the UFO crash retrieval program has both UFO wreckage and bodies, humanoid bodies, quote unquote. This is fascinating. Get in here. This is Jack. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal on Cosmic Road. Please hit like, please subscribe, and please hit the bell to be notified of future videos. And please share this video when it drops on social media. That'd be super helpful. And comment below to let me know what you think. Okay, yeah, let's get into this. Ross Coulthart has been a great voice in the community recently. And he's come out with a terrific book that I have been meaning to read, but I have not gotten around to it yet. There's so much to read. I just downloaded another great book on the topic, and I hope to be doing reports on that. And it gets into some of the even more fringy stuff. But anyway, love Ross, love his reporting. He just recently did a report on how there was an international team from the U.S. Based out of Long Beach, California. They came into Australia to perform a UFO crash retrieval. And it looks like he further investigated that incident, that team, that UFO crash retrieval team, was working out of a aeronautics company from Long Beach, California. And it looks like he tracked down some information on that. So let's get into what he had to say. I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to read a little quote, a little paragraph from the book for you. And he's meeting his source, Sidewinder. So at this meeting, Sidewinder's defense intelligence friend described, Sidewinder's friend, and I guess these are pseudonyms, described how he was invited to the campus of one of the many large aerospace firms located in Long Beach, Los Angeles, California. He declines to say which one, sadly. There's actually many of them there. There's multiple aerospace companies in Long Beach. He was taken for a long walk in the sprawling gardens and told by an executive, I want to offer you a job. This will be deep undercover. You'll have an office that you'll go to on a daily basis that will not be where you will be located. You'll have a person answer your phone and respond to questions, and for all intents and purposes, you're an employee of this organization. Man, I would love to know what organization that is. Is that a separate organization than the aerospace company, or is this one part of the aerospace company that he's nominally going to be working for, but he'll actually be working for the deep program? But as far as his cover job, he is told you have a job there, but in reality, you'll be working with us and others. As part of this job, you'll have access to the wreckage and the humanoids. Okay, that's the big newsflash, right? You'll have access to the wreckage, the UFO wreckage, and the humanoids. Boom! Point blank, he says humanoids. They've got humanoids. I mean, of course, they've got humanoids, but now we have Ross Coulthart's source saying they've got humanoids, which, of course, makes it all the more real. That's just amazing. Sidewinder, continuing with the paragraph, this is all in one paragraph in the book. Sidewinder told me, Ross, I presume, frustrated that he knows no more. I guess even though they offered him the job, somehow it did not materialize. He says, this is the closest I've ever come to this thing being reality. That's the closest I've ever come. His insider friend said the whole program was controlled by a relatively small group of people who were not all in the government, including people in the aerospace, intelligence, and corporate financial communities, as well as the Pentagon. So we're talking about the control group here and how, how they have tentacles all over. I think that's really important to highlight. They have people in aerospace, intelligence, in corporate financial communities. So they've got the money, they've got the spies, they've got the aerospace, and they've got the government power in the Pentagon. But it's only a relatively small group of people, according to this source. Of course, that contradicts other sources as well. Terry Lovelace, for example, who saw, over 50 military personnel aboard a giant UFO. And there's many, many cases like that that seem to indicate a much larger involvement. So I don't know if the program that is being referred to here is a different program or a parallel program or a subset of the overall program. That's what I would suspect, is that the crash retrieval program is but one subset of the overall control group. An important part, but nonetheless just one small subset. And just to complete the paragraph, the Sidewinder is saying, and he said that if you're not in that circle, regardless of what organization you're in, you won't know anything about it. His friend declined to speak directly with me. So it sounds like Sidewinder really wanted to be part of this program, but they wouldn't, they didn't hire him, or something happened. Maybe some logistical problem. Maybe I'll have to read the book and find out why he wasn't ultimately hired in this position, but he was very frustrated not to be. Now, I think it's really interesting to point out here that this is much more complicated and interesting than even that, because also by Ross Coulthart. Okay, so he reports that the team from Long Beach, the UFO crash retrieval team from Long Beach, California, came to retrieve a UFO that crashed in Australia. But he also reports that an Australian-based UFO crash retrieval team went outside of Australia to retrieve a downed UFO outside of Australia. So how does that work exactly? Because you have the Australians not retrieving their own downed craft, or not theirs, obviously, but in their territory. So you have the beings crashing a ship in Australia, and you have a UFO team from Australia, but they don't retrieve that craft. They retrieve a craft outside of Australia, and it is up to an American team out of Long Beach to come and retrieve the UFO from Australia. What does that mean? What does that imply? I don't quite understand the mechanics of how this group functions. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, a fascinating case, a fascinating set of information. We have this relatively small group of people with a lot of leverage in government and aerospace. They've got spies, they have people in intelligence, they've got people in the Pentagon, so they've got the military, they've got the intelligence, they've got it all. They've got the money, so, which makes perfect sense. Of course they would. How exactly does that connect to the deeper programs? If there are deeper programs, I'm open to the possibility that that's some sort of disinformation, although I don't know how exactly that would work. Just to take Terry Lovelace's case, for example, when he saw 50 military guys aboard a giant UFO, and there are so many cases like that, I don't see how that could be disinformation. So what does that mean? I think it means that the UFO crash retrieval team, as highly connected as they are, is, like I say, one subset of this much vaster group. And how does any of this connect to the ARVs? I've made several videos recently about the alien reproduction vehicles, the ARVs, and I think I've shown that this information is coming from a variety of sources, all saying pretty much the same thing. Oh, and it spans decades. This material goes back to the 60s and 70s when people have been seeing these things. So if we have been creating our own UFOs, whether, through our own power or given this technology or reverse engineering this technology, how does that relate to the UFO crash retrieval programs? Are they retrieving the craft simply to hide the craft, to suppress this information? If so, then Bob Lazar and all those guys who are talking about reverse engineering the technology are lying. But there could be another way, and that's that there are multiple programs doing multiple things. That's where I think the research goes. But what does that mean? Are they connected? Are the programs connected? Are they all run by the same control group? Are there different control groups? Who is doing what and why? I mean, this whole thing gets weird and complicated. And this is obviously we need to shed some light on this. And that's ultimately where this goes, is exposing this information to the public, letting the public know what the hell is going on, because it's been going on for a long time, and there's been a lot of shenanigans, a lot of dark stuff has gone on, and in the name of this project, in the name of this agenda, whatever this agenda is. This information isn't going to come out into the light easily, but it needs to happen. It just needs to happen, and I think it will in time. I don't think that the new whistleblower protection laws are going to provide the silver bullet for this, but I do think it might pry open the lid a little bit. It's not going to open that can of worms, but it might just gently pry open the lid, and maybe a worm or two will come out, and then it's all coming out. You can't just have one worm. Once you admit the beings are here, then you have to admit there's ships, there's abductions, there's the whole thing. The whole thing, there's no way of denying it. And then you even get into the weirder stuff, the metaphysical aspect of it all. And, that may be why they have been so tardy on releasing this information, is because it is reality altering. It changes our perception of reality once we get into the mechanics of what exactly is going on. I don't pretend to know what that is, but I do see the signs of that in my own experiences and others. So anyway, those are my thoughts, guys. This is a really cool case with some really cool information about UFO crash retrieval teams and how they have alien bodies. And I think it goes beyond having alien bodies. I think they're working with the beings themselves, but that's where my research has led me. Let me know where your research has led you in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please smash the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Please join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. And please, if you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. See the first line in the description below, and there's 2 tiers of membership to receive exclusive access in videos. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road.